Hi, my name is Leela, and this is the story of how I ran into the forest to escape a man older than my father, and you won't believe what I saw in the forest. I was once called the most beautiful girl in our small village, but beyond my looks I was kind, humble, and always willing to help others. I never saw my beauty as something to boast about. Men would come to our home often, begging my father to let them marry me, but he always said no. I was only 17, the only child of two poor farmers who could barely feed themselves, let alone dream of a better life. We lived in a small, crumbling house with leaking roofs and empty food baskets. But we had love, or so I thought. One afternoon, my father called me. His voice was calm, but his eyes carried something strange. Hope and greed mixed together. He said, "Leela, when you turn 18, you will marry Mr. Gregory." Mr. Gregory was 75 years old. Yes, 75. He was the wealthiest man in our village after the chief. He owned farmlands, houses, herds of animals, and 5 wives already. I would be the 6th. I felt like the ground shifted beneath me. "But why, Papa?" I asked, trying to understand. "He promised me land, a new house, and workers," he replied proudly. That night I cried in silence. I felt betrayed. I wasn't just a daughter, I was now a price tag. I begged my mother to say something. "Leela," she said, "we have nothing. No future for you. Mr. Gregory will care for you. He said you'd be his last wife." "But Mama, he treats his wives like prisoners. Didn't you hear what he did to his 4th wife, because her farm didn't grow enough cassava? I'll just be another slave in his house." She tried to smile, but her eyes were tired. "He promised to love you, he said you're special." She tried to convince me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went to my best friend, Eliza. She was the only person who truly listened. She didn't try to convince me. I didn't need reasons. I needed a way out. Within weeks, Mr. Gregory kept his promise. He gave my father land, livestock, and a brand new house. My parents moved in proudly. Workers came. The poor farmers became respected landowners. They had all they wanted now except me. But I was just a pawn. Then, one sunny afternoon, a man named Jason appeared. He was a tall, rugged hunter with deep eyes and quiet strength. He had wandered into our village by mistake while tracking wild animals. He saw me walking back from the stream with Eliza. He didn't speak, just stared. Quietly, later he followed me, silently and secretly, until I got home. Something about me pulled him in. He didn't want to let me disappear from his life. From that day on, Jason watched me from afar. He learned everything about my unwanted engagement, my sadness, and my helplessness. His heart broke for me. 2 days before the wedding, I went to my mother one last time, begging her to stop the madness. "Leela," she shouted, "you are getting married, and that's final." I ran. I didn't stop. I didn't care where I went. I ran barefoot through the bushes, crying, until I collapsed under a tree deep in the forest. What could be worse than marrying Mr. Gregory, I thought. Night fell, my feet bled, my body trembled. I was too tired to cry. Then I heard footsteps. I turned. A shadow approached, and then blackness. I woke up on a soft bed, wrapped in a warm blanket. My wounds had been cleaned. For a moment, I thought I had died, but I looked up and saw Jason. He had followed me that night, just like he always did, and found me before any wild animal could. He carried me to his home, a beautiful wooden cabin deep in the forest. "Who are you?" I asked. "I've been watching over you," he said. And he told me everything. I told him I couldn't go back home. He nodded and said I could stay as long as I wanted. Subscribe to this channel if you enjoy stories like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Jason lived alone. His family had died when he was 15. His greedy uncles took everything from him, his father's house, the land, even his tools. So he ran to the forest, built his own hut, and survived through hunting. Now he had turned it into a peaceful, thriving home. I stayed. I helped him cook, clean, and hunt. We became a team, a family. 6 months later, he asked me to marry him. I said yes. 6 years passed. We had 2 beautiful sons. Our love only grew deeper with time. Jason kept asking me to visit my mother. She's still your mother, Leela. She deserves to see you happy, he said. Eventually, I agreed. We traveled back to the village. I went to Eliza first. She hugged me so tightly, but also scolded me for leaving without a word. I apologized. I wasn't thinking straight. I was just scared. I didn't want to marry an old man. We laughed. Then we went to see my mother. But Eliza led me to a different house. That's not our house, I said. She looked at me and said, just wait. We entered a small compound. An older woman sat under a tree. It was my mother. She looked up, and when our eyes met, she gasped. She dropped the bowl in her hands and ran to me. Leela, she cried, hugging me like she'd never let go. I thought I lost you forever, she sobbed. She explained everything. Mr. Gregory had taken everything back. The land, the animals, and the house, because I disappeared. They had to move into my grandmother's abandoned home. My father died 4 years ago. He had fallen sick, blaming himself for what happened to me. My heart broke. We made peace that day. Jason built my mother a comfortable home. We had a grand wedding with family. Jason paid my bride price, restoring my mother's dignity. Today, she visits whenever she wants. We laugh, we eat, we raise our boys together. I ran from pain and found love. I ran from fear and found freedom. And I'll never regret that night I chose the forest. Thank you so much for watching.